Ivan Stupak is with us tonight, military analyst, former SSU, which is Security Service of Ukraine. Hello, Ivan.
Hello, nice to see you.
Nice to see you back. Help me to understand. What are the pros and cons, the advantages and possible limitations associated with the potential purchase or delivery of like a F-16s aircraft to Ukraine? What I'm trying to ask, is it good and useful for Ukraine or already not so much?
We still believe it's very necessary and it's very important for Ukraine. But our chief in commander, Valery Zaluzhny, he thinks that now maybe it's not be F-16 will not be a game changer. Yeah, it's very important, but not so game changer. So what about pros and cons? From one side, it's a pretty expensive toy, really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It starts from, if my memory serves me well, it's about $30 million per unit. So it's quite expensive. But on other side, it's a mass product. So totally, in general, according to official reports, we are producing about 4,000 items or pieces of F-16 in different modifications. So it's the mass product. Okay, we understand it. But also the third hand, is equipment. I mean, missiles. What type of missiles could wait Ukraine from our allies, or what types of missiles could Ukraine buy by itself? So the range is pretty wide, from $50,000 per one missile up to 1 million or maybe almost $2 million
right.
for modern models.
You said the F-16s will not be the game changers at the moment. I can understand that. Well, I can understand why, because of the fortifications that Russians were able to build at this time while the world was hesitating and asking questions instead of acting. But maybe you can guess, or let us speculate, what is the game changer then, if not F-16s?
Nuke weapon. Okay, I'm just joking. Okay. In my opinion, game changer could be several pieces of modern weapon. For example, it could be combat helicopters. I mean, modern, maybe Huey, maybe Apache, maybe, but it's also very expensive. Yeah, it could be also ATACMS missiles without range, about 300 kilometers. I mean, in quantity, not 20 pieces, but maybe 200 pieces. Oh, it's good one. 200 pieces is good one for us. Yes. What else? It could be tanks, a lot of tanks, but it should be deployed not one by one, but pretty much bunches. I mean, 20 at one time, at 30 at one time. So I think it's this way.
The quantity. Okay, getting back to aircrafts. How many fighting aircrafts, let's say just any fighting aircrafts, does Ukraine need now so that could really affect the course of what's going on the front line, the course of hostilities?
I think at least 100. At least. I will explain why. F-16, it's not a UFO. It's not something like a spaceship with the lasers. It's a piece of iron. Yeah, it's a technique. It's a mechanic. It always could be broken. It always could be shut down by Russian artillery or Russian anti-aircraft systems. So we need to have to replace damaged pieces. So at least we need 100, at least. In good condition, maybe 200, maybe 300, because Russian Federation got about more than 200, maybe up to 500 different types of aircrafts. So and also we need at least 100 highly trained and highly motivated pilots. But now it's impossible. We've got only about 10, maybe 15 pilots.
Well, the motivation, I believe, is not a problem for Ukraine. They need to go through the training program. That is for sure. But I'm sure.
I will explain why I'm talking about motivation.
Please.
Because it's not just a problem to teach how to operate F-16. You have to teach for a first step is to advance your English level. To be able to understand, what is it? Yeah, wow, is this? What is? So to understand what you have to switch on, to switch off, to pull, to move. This is to put. This is to move. So to understand, it takes maybe 4 months, maybe 6 months of intensive learning. So it's motivation, because we understand some type of pilot. Oh, I don't want. 6 months of English. Nah,
really?
I will stay with MiG-29. Maybe. No. I would like to be realistic. Yeah, we have a lot of pilots with highly motivated, but not everyone, not totally 100%. Also concerns our special services. I know such types of guys who are just thinking, when I have to retire? Wow, it's in 2 years. I'm tired. So I don't know. We have such type of guys. Sorry.
Well, anyone has these type of guys. Trust me. I've seen these guys in America. I've seen these guys in Germany. I've seen them all around the world. This is the type of people. Well, let us back to the aircraft. You said that this is a quite expensive piece of metal. Yes, and this piece of metal, quite expensive, needs a quite expensive, infrastructure. And infrastructure is the key. So do you believe that at what stage is the preparation of the necessary infrastructure in Ukraine now? This is my question.
Also, yeah, I understand. Good question. Also, we need a highly trained ground crew. So pilots, it's okay, good pilot, but what about ground crew? The guys who are able to repair in short period of time these combat jets. So their preparations, their training are very important for Ukraine. Also, you're just talking about ground facilities.
Facilities,
it's also,
that's right.
As a component of F-16 security. So we understand that Russian Federation intelligence were concerned about, and Russian general staff also concerned about F-16, and they are trying to reach out. Okay, where Ukraine will be able to deploy bases with such type of aircraft. So you Russians would like to hit it with our drones, with our ballistic missiles, with cruise missiles. So Ukraine authorities need to make a lot of preparations to hide this technique from Russian intelligence eyes. So it could be, it's just my opinion, western part of Ukraine, maybe Carpathian Mountains, maybe it could be some underground or deeply drilled in the mountains, special facilities. Oh, likewise in Iran. Do you remember these footages when Iranian aircraft are stored in some mountains, hidden places?
I do.
Which
Yes,
is not.
Yes.
Yeah. These places could not be destroyed with any type of ballistic missiles.
Okay, infrastructure, that's one thing. The maintenance is the other thing. So as far as I understand, each F-16 has to be maintained after each flight. So how does Ukraine plan to provide such a maintenance and tech support for F-16s alone as a country, or maybe in an alliance, in a partnership? That would be easier. Just a thought.
Look, it just we just were talking about ground crew, so it's other type of specialist who should be prepared and trained to maintain such type of technique. So I think here we wouldn't met with some problems. So the main problem is for me is pilots and ground facilities. So
Yes.
ground crew, okay, it's also a problem, but it's not so big, not so huge.
Okay. All right. Tanks, let's say tanks are delivered to Ukraine. F-16s are delivered to Ukraine. Whatever Ukraine likes is delivered to Ukraine. To what extent does all this military aid serve as a, I don't know, shield, a deterrent against further aggression from Russia? Maybe this is the answer. This is how to end the war.
No, it's just a temporary shield. Okay, because we should rely only or we should rely on our internal production.
Right.
Just our missiles, rockets, tanks, artillery, anti-aircraft systems. So the main idea is not to be in standby position. Oh, okay, everything is okay. We should every day think and really work. It's not loud words. To work on our defense in different spheres. Also, as I said, artillery, tanks, shell productions, also munition for light armor. Now in Ukraine, we don't have a production for light armor production. So it's nonsense.
Thank you. So when the situation is changing on the front line, everything is changing with the military aid. Like, I remember Kherson, I remember Kharkov coming back to Ukraine. And the military aid that were not discussed before that was almost ready after that. So how is the nature of military aid is evolving now? What is the world thinking? Is the world ready finally to give this F-16s enough for Ukraine? And other equipment, I mean, all the military equipment that is necessary.
Okay, in a couple of words, in a nutshell.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
As our European, as our Western allies said, the quotation, our cupboards are almost bare. So we have to understand it, because as long war takes, the more depleted storages of munition in the Western countries, because they were not ready for such a long and so bloody war as it takes in Ukraine, as it took place. So it's also another big challenge for European Union, for United States. For United States, it's okay, because as I read one of the report that how it's called, not Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin Corporation, it increased its sales and its profits up to 25%. Up to 25%, because military production is very important, not just only for Ukraine, also for Germany, for United Kingdom, for Australia,
Absolutely.
and for different countries in the world. So it should take some time to increase the level of production, but Ukraine doesn't have such a lot of time.
Okay, I'll take that as an answer, but what diplomatic efforts are taken by Ukraine to receive what it urgently needs? How about diplomacy in this case?
As far as I know, our diplomacy works all around the world, trying to convince our allies to continue to support Ukraine, not only with munition, but also with diplomatic support, and also with finance support. It's very important. I have to make it clear, because for your viewers, because Ukrainian budget is virtually divided on half. So one half is what we are earning inside Ukraine, and other part and the first part we are using to finance our military procurements, to finance our to pay salary for our
Right.
servicemen, and the other part is what we got from European Union, from its
The funds.
funds, from
Yes.
United States, and we use it to pay salary for civil service, to repair roads. So we need this money extremely. So yeah, one of the main task of our diplomacy, to continue to persuade, to convince our allies to continue this support, not to cut funds for Ukraine.
Right. Ivan, do you believe Russia will attack critical civilian infrastructure in Ukraine this winter?
To be honest with you, I will be very surprised if Russia won't do it. So why? Last year, your Russian Federation done it from October till late of March. So about maybe almost 5 months, almost half year. So and now I do believe they are just waiting for extremely cold weather outside in order to severely damage Ukrainian infrastructure. But now in Kiev, it's about 10 degrees, maybe. For yesterday, or for a day before yesterday, it was 15 degrees, and we've got shiny sun. So it's not very good weather for Russian military to attack our infrastructure.
Well, maybe as a special service officer, maybe in person, have you met just those ordinary Russians that are aware that Putin and the Kremlin are shelling every winter the civilian infrastructure, the cities at night, trying to freeze the whole nation? How do they connect that to their greatness of Russian culture and everything? Just a question between F-16s and tanks. Maybe you have an answer.
Yeah, I have answer because time to time I try to read some Russian publics. It's not a pleasure for me. It's not giving me a lot of pleasure, but just to understand what is going on.
Yes.
And they're extremely happy. Ukrainians, you are now going to Stone Age. How is to be without Wi-Fi, without electricity, without central heating supply. So they're just extremely happy of such type of activities from Russian.
Are you telling me that they are surprised that Ukrainians are still alive? They would love that type of a behavior of the Kremlin to continue. Am I right?
Yes, they're waiting because look, when Ukrainian critical infrastructure is damaged so hard, they got some feelings of supremacy. We can do it. Yeah. So they doesn't have any victories on the battlefield, but they got some victories on battlefield struggling with Ukrainian civil infrastructure. So they've got satisfaction. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I wanted to say. I mean, this is a kind of satisfactory. If you cannot invent your own car for more than 75 years, then maybe this is the way. You just bombard, you just shell the innocent civilians. If that would be, Ivan, for you to decide, what would you do to change the course of the war now? Whatever it is, political, economical, militarily vectored decision. Such yourself.
So as for me, we should reduce our military plans. I will explain why. Okay, great. Now in Ukraine, we've got only one plan. Okay, we should reach borders of Ukraine in 1991 year. Yeah, so Crimea, Donetsk, Lugansk, etc. So I understand that for our Western allies, it's not so clear. It's too long. It could take 50 years. Maybe it could take more than 200 died soldiers from Ukrainian side. It could take hundreds of billions of dollars. So it's very expensive. It's very long. So in case if we will reduce our primary targets from big one to smaller. For example, our small target is to reach Crimea Peninsula, not to enter Crimea Peninsula, not to start battle for Crimea, just to reach it. For example, the city is named Armyansk. So just it's one step. So step by step. First, to reach Crimea. Second, to reach our borders. To reach our situation maybe of February 2022. So if we will divide our priorities on small stages, it could be more clear and maybe more acceptable for some in White House, some guys in White House, maybe in down in street and etc.
More visible, more clear, at least the short term.
Yes.
Well, there is a very big wisdom in this small step path. I see that, Ivan. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See you. Take care. Bye.
Goodbye.